Thanks a lot. Yeah, as he said, I'm Derrick MORTON. I'm the CEO of FlowPlay. FlowPlay makes a platform to make MMOs really easy to deploy across all devices and all platforms. Most recently, the game we've launched is called Vegas World, and Vegas World is a social casino set in an MMO format. But here today, I'm going to talk about a little bit about some unique ways that we monetize in a social casino environment. And one of the concepts we do is we sort of sell people good luck. We found that people like the concept of winning, like the concept of paying to win versus paying to lose. And we'll talk more about that in some of the slides. So, here's the basic definition of luck. But for me, luck is about, people feel lucky when something happens that the odds of that outcome were low. When something they want to have happen, which is unlikely to happen, happens to them, they feel lucky. So one example would be, the toss of a coin has a 50-50 probability of heads or tails. And the possibility of 3 heads coming up in a row, that exact outcome, only has 12.5% possibility of happening. Now, if you had bet someone that you were going to get 3 heads in a row, you'd feel very lucky if that 12.5% outcome actually happened to you. In games, you see this a lot. Obviously, the concept of luck. One of my favorite ones is Pokemon. Played this a lot even as an adult. You guys, some of you might have played it as kids. There's a concept called the critical hit. And the critical hit when you're battling in Pokemon is a situation where every Pokemon has a percentage possibility that they will hit the other player with a critical hit. And a critical hit will typically take out the opponent in at least one or 2 hits. So in this case, typically a critical hit for a Pokemon character is like, 10% or so, or maybe even less. So when you're in the game, you're playing the game, you're battling an opponent, and a critical hit comes up, you feel lucky because that is not a common occurrence. So you get a little burst of adrenaline based upon this lucky outcome. In a more complex game like Diablo, you actually see items that the character can wear that have an impact on the critical hit chance. So a character in Diablo, in battling other mods and stuff, will have a chance that they can hit the other player in a battle with a critical hit. And these critical hits really make it easier to beat the other character, so you really want that advantage as much as possible. So you'll buy items in the game to increase your chances of having a critical hit. So that concept of buying better probabilities is pretty common throughout games. One of the other really background things that's happening in a lot of these MMO games is the chances for a drop. So you see here, this is a battle scene after hitting a rather major monster, and what he drops. All these drops are determined by probabilities that are happening in the background. So the flawless ruby might have a probability drop of 15%. The exquisite wand may have a drop possibility of 2-3%, depending upon how rare it is. So these probabilities drive what the outcomes are and what the payoffs are for meeting some of the monsters in World of Warcraft. Now, people in the game will buy and try to acquire items that increase their ability to increase the probability of these drops. So you can see that there's a value to a player in a game of increasing probabilities for positive outcomes in the game they're playing. So in a casino game, we try to do the same thing. So there's lots of probability in casino games and real established probabilities in casino games. So the basic payoff in a roulette game is just under 95% for the basic bets that you can make on the table. And according to the Nevada Gaming Control Board, they've done a sort of a sweep of what the payouts are for most common games. And you'll get about an 89% payout in a penny slot, but up to a 94.3% payoff in a dollar slot. The casinos realize that if you pay more to play the slot, that they're willing to give you a little extra, knowing that over time you're gonna lose that money anyway. So basically, what this means is for every dollar you put in a dollar slot, you're gonna get an average of 94 cents back for every dollar you put in. So over time, you're essentially losing 6 cents on the dollar. Video poker has one of the highest payouts. It's practically 100% if you know how to play, if you have optimum play. And depending upon what kind of pay tables are set up on the machine, but it's my favorite game. Jenny knows, she's watched me play. Generally in social casinos, what you see is what I call the loss replacement cycle. So people play the game. Typically, a social casino will give you coins to play with, free coins every day, daily bonuses. You get coins for sharing with friends, coins that you can send to friends and they can send back to you. But in general, what's happening is you play until you're out of coins. Once you're out of coins, if you want to continue playing that day, you don't want to come back tomorrow for your daily bonus, you'll go to the store and you'll buy 1,000,000 coins for $20. And then you'll go back to the machines and be able to play some more. And you'll keep playing and you'll keep playing and keep playing until you're out of coins again and you have to buy them. When we first started talking about building Vegas World, I reflected back to my times in casino when I've lost money, and I really felt like those times weren't so positive. That I would walk out of a casino a few $100s poorer, and it felt like to me that if we were going to build a game like that it wouldn't be a positive experience. So we put our heads together to try and find out what would be a more positive experience for a person visiting a social casino versus losing money and walking away a loser. So most of our slot machines are set at 95% payout. They vary between 94 to 94 to 96, but generally 95% payout. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to show you an actual player and the outcome of the spins of that actual player in a normal environment, in a normal slot machine that they played on our website, and then what it looks like when they've actually played with us selling them luck so that they can win more. So this is the spin outcome of a player who did 3,785 spins. This is a hardcore player. She played for almost 4 hours. She spent about $8,000 playing our game. Not this particular day, but in her lifetime. So she bet about $250,000 per spin, and she lost over time. You'll see that sometimes she was up, and there were troughs and dips, but at one point she went way down, and in total over this time she lost 56 million coins through the outcomes of the spin of the machine. Now those coins to us, if she was just to go buy them, would be worth about $45. She'd have to pay $45 to simply just replace the coins she lost playing that day. But what she did instead was she played with some of our lucky charms. So what we do is we give players the choice between buying coins or buying lucky charms when they play. So you can do it the loss replacement way, where you lose and you buy more coins, lose, buy more coins, or you can buy lucky charms from us that will increase and improve the odds of the game and improve the odds to such a point to where you're effectively winning over time versus losing over time. One of the ways we sell these charms to you is we allow you to select what price point you're willing to get a charm at, and we'll randomly distribute you a charm to even make it a little more fun and also to sort of obfuscate the actual value of these charms. We're a little hesitant to let people know exactly what the value of a charm is according to gems and the coin payout. So we'll vary it slightly based on a randomization of what charms are distributed by our charm machine. So there's an example of a charm that came out of the charm machine, a jeweled skull. And based upon whatever amount the person paid for the charm will determine how long the charm lasts and what odds increase it has on the machine or the game you're playing. So there's lots of charms. They're kind of collectible. We come up with all kinds of funny animations for them. And we also have a rating system for them. You'll see the clovers at the bottom. These clovers let the player know what sort of the lasting value, how long these things will last in a game. So the octopus there that has 4 lucky charms, 4 clovers, will last longer than the ones that just have 1 or 2 below them. We also have a stamp book where people can collect these and try and collect every one, just like Pokemon. So here's what it looks like when you're actually playing in a game. You see the slot machine in the middle, but over on the right, you see the lucky charms. And what the lucky charms are doing is as you play, they're contributing enough coins to the play to push you over the top and to make sure that you're not losing money over time. If this player wasn't playing with lucky charms, excuse me, they would lose money. But with these Lucky Charms, over time, in this scenario, they're probably playing at about 108, 110% payout, and over time making about a 10% improvement on every wager they make. These charms work in every game. So they work in poker, they work in blackjack, they work in video poker, they work in bingo, they work in fringo, they work with all of our games. Now, this is going back to the same lady and her spin activity on the site. And the green line is what coins she actually got. So the red line is what she would have gotten had she not been playing with charms. The green line is the actual outcome based upon her playing with charms. So even though she started playing with 6.8 billion coins, she paid us money so that she could play with Lucky Charms and that she would win money over time. Now she's got tons of coins. I mean, 6.8 billion coins would last her a really, really long time in the game. But rather than play that way, rather than have a losing experience, rather than coming in and playing for several hours and having fewer coins at the end of the game than when she came in, she made the choice to play with charms and come out a winner. Now she actually ended up winning 122 million coins, but she really bought those coins from us. But the experience of buying those coins wasn't one where she lost coins, had to go to the store and replace those coins. The experience was, I'm going to buy luck, have a higher probability outcome than I would have had if I'd been playing a normal slot machine, and over time, I'm going to have more money, guaranteed practically, than when I started playing the game that day. So what that tells us is people really like the experience of winning versus losing. It makes sense, right? Nobody wants to have that pit in their stomach when they walk out of a casino saying, well, I lost $100 a day. Well, what would be better if you walked in the casino and said, I'm going to spend $100 in order to win, the possibility of winning 200 versus knowing that you're really going to lose that $100 the second you walk in the door. So it's been really good for us. Super Data just released dollars per MAU and dollars per DAU last week. We have the second highest monetization of any social casino in the space. The only other social casino that has higher dollars per MAU and dollars per DAU is Double Down Casino, and we're close on their heels. This is a chart showing when we launched, and over time, the breakdown of the percentage of coins purchased from us versus charms purchased from us. So you see the red line, that's people buying coins from us. When we first launched, people didn't understand what these Lucky Charms were as much. So for the most part, it was sort of a 50-50 breakdown. About half the money we were making was from selling people coins, and about half the money we were making was from selling people charms. But over time, you see that people have preferred to buy Lucky Charms from us versus buying coins from us. So over time, it's over 70% of our revenue comes from people buying luck. Comes from people not just replacing their lost coins with more coins, but with paying us to have a positive outcome in the game. So a couple caveats. This is really hard to do from an engineering point of view, to get this integrated with all your games, to get the games to sort of coordinate themselves with the charms themselves. It takes a little bit of engineering work. It takes a lot of economic balancing to figure out how to make this work from a sort of coin basis to make sure that you're not causing the wrong kind of inflation or deflation. It does cause inflation, but only among those paying players. So paying players have dramatic increases in the amount of coins they have in their account, and you need to figure out ways to reward them for having built up big coin balances. Otherwise, there won't be any reason for them to have tons and tons of coins. So we've done a lot of things in the game to really help people, incentivize them to win billions and billions of coins, even though they're buying all those coins from us. This makes real money gambling people a little bit nervous because we are changing the odds of the game. It's a bad idea in a real money gambling situation to have a free game where the odds are different from what the actual odds are in a real money game. That would never happen or be allowed. So what are the opportunities for you working with us? In addition to white labeling our platform, we're also offering the platform out to developers to make games using our platform, using our Lucky Charms. This is an example of a game built by Joja Games. It's called Fringo. It's a hybrid game of slots and bingo. And basically they came to us with this concept and said, we'd really like to use your platform, you'd like to use your APIs, and build a game on top of it. So what we offered them was the ability to launch a game, not having to build multiplayer architecture, a transaction system, a virtual currency system, to use our Charms component, and to actually launch their game inside of Vegas World with a ready-made audience. And since this is launched in Vegas World, it did really well, and we've launched it as a standalone game on Facebook and on Yahoo and other portals. That's my story. Thanks for listening.